Good morning, everyone. I am Kamla Rampersad de Silva, Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Corporate Governance Institute, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our series on governance of credit unions. We began these discussions 2 years ago and have explored a range of governance issues, such as training and characteristics of directors and the process of selection of directors for credit unions. This is because credit unions form a vital part of our financial system and is crucial to financial stability for many families in the Caribbean. Today's panel discussion will look at governance and risk with Pheuona Reynolds from the Jamaica Credit Union League, Lottoia Auguiste from the St. John's Credit Union in Antigua and Barbuda. First time we have a speaker from Antigua and Barbuda with us, so we're very happy to have her. And also we have Sherry-Ann Joseph from Harcourt Consulting in Trinidad and Tobago. I will introduce them all to you in a bit, but first let me share that we are live streaming part of today's discussion on our YouTube channel, and we are also casting it on our LinkedIn and Facebook pages. So hello to everyone who has joined us via these media. Thank you very much to Warren Addison of Innate Talent Management for our social media support and for managing the live stream for us. I would also like to recognize the CCGI team, Laura Sinanan, Jacqueline Deschaussee, Quentrell de Silva, and Monique Romano for their hard work. I'm also going to ask Laura to please put the link for our social media channels in the chat. Laura, you can possibly do it just a little bit later on when I complete the opening remarks, as many of our participants are now joining us. But once you receive the link, I'm going to ask everyone, please click on the link and follow us and like our pages on social media. We have over 200 videos on our YouTube channel in particular. This allows you to be able to review past discussions and conferences, which adds to all of our understanding of issues and challenges in governance in the Caribbean region. Now, some of you present today are members of CCGI, and I want to recognize in particular the members of the PSCU Credit Union from Trinidad and Tobago. They were the first credit union to become an organizational member with a gold bundle membership here with us at CCGI. So we're very happy to have them. And we thank them and all of our regular attendees who have continued to join us for our sessions and give us their support. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we are so pleased to have you with us here at CCGI and to share a very brief history. Established as a nonprofit membership organization in 2012, the Caribbean Corporate Governance Institute currently enjoys over 300 members from a range of private and public sector organizations across the region. These include persons from Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Belize, St. Lucia, Guyana, the British Virgin Islands, St. Martin, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We host a range of workshops and panel discussions on evolving issues, excuse me, evolving issues in governance. We also have our signature event, Governance Week, and a two-day global conference. All of these are held online to easily facilitate persons' participation throughout the Caribbean region. This year, our theme for Governance Week is Governance in an Age of Generative AI. And as usual, we will be joined by over 50 leaders from the Caribbean to explore this very important theme. Our opening keynote is an international speaker. She is Dr. Fatima Abu Salem, a professor at the American University of Beirut, who brings tremendous expertise in the evolving area of artificial intelligence. We also have 5 amazing key speakers to open each of our 5 days of conference. On Monday, June 23rd, Eldon Marks from Guyana will speak on governance and management relations in managing generative AI. Tuesday, June 24th, Ricardo Allen from Jamaica would look at governance of the private sector. Wednesday, June 25th, Javed Sajad from Trinidad and Tobago would look at, he's a legal consultant with AI, and therefore he would be looking at governance of the state sector. On Thursday, June 26th, we have for the first time joining us from the two countries very close to the US Virgin Islands, because initially I thought they were. This is Statia and Saba, actually two Dutch Caribbean islands located very close to the US Virgin Islands. So Daniela Richardson is also the president of the Chamber of Statia and Saba, and she will be speaking as we focus on governance of SMEs and family-owned businesses. We end Governance Week on Tuesday, June 27th, as we turn our attention to governance of groups and conglomerates. And our opening speaker on that day is Patricia Rowe Seal from Barbuda. We would like to thank our various sponsors for Governance Week 2025, and these are Massey Holdings, returning as our platinum sponsor, Trident Trust from the British Virgin Islands, a silver sponsor, First Citizens Bank, returning as a silver sponsor here in Trinidad and Tobago as well, Angostura Holdings, returning as a bronze sponsor, Republic Bank, returning as a bronze sponsor, J.A. Rowe and Sons from Belize, also returning for the second time as a bronze sponsor for Governance Week, and also PwC Trinidad and Tobago, returning as a bronze sponsor. We thank all of our sponsors for their support, because Governance Week enables us to really discuss and unravel a range of issues facing us in the Caribbean region. Alongside this, as mentioned earlier, we do run a range of workshops and panel discussions. At the moment, we are offering our modules in corporate governance, which covers all of the fundamental principles that one should know if you are involved in serving a board or being part of a board or supporting as an executive. Okay, so we look forward to persons making inquiries about how you too can do these modules. It will be offered again in October this year. We have a workshop on financial stewardship for directors and officers, and this is geared specifically for those persons who don't have a background in finance. This workshop will be facilitated by Howard Dutton on July 23rd. And we end our series on the role of the board with Dr. Chris Pierce from the UK, who will deliver a workshop on leading effective boards. And of course, we also have workshops for corporate secretaries, looking at their role and function, as well as drafting minutes and other corporate documents later this year. So I invite you to visit our website for details on these and all of our other events which have been opened for registration. And if you are not yet a member, do consider joining us and actively contribute to the conversation on how we can improve leadership and governance practices to achieve sustainable outcomes. Persons may join us as an individual member, or your companies may choose to pay for bundle membership, same way that PSCU Credit Union did. And this bundle membership can cover from 6 to 12 members. Now, just before we start our panel discussion today, I would like to make a few housekeeping announcements. And these are what we generally do for all of our sessions. We'd like to ask all of our participants to please ensure that their name is correctly captured on their screens. We are in a virtual room together, which allows each of us to engage and access freely with the other participants. So it's important that everyone is easily identifiable. We would also like to ask everyone to keep their microphones on mute throughout the session. During the Q&A segment, if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, you can raise your virtual hand using the icon at the bottom of your screen. You will need to unmute yourself. And then after you've completed your contribution, please press your mute icon again in order to minimize any disruptive noises in your background. But of course, throughout the session, persons are invited to make comments or questions in the chat, and these would be brought to the attention of the panelists as need be. Now, those of you who need to earn CPDs or PDUs as part of your ongoing certification, you may use these sessions to claim your points. We do provide certificates of participation to everyone. Generally for our workshops, we have started doing so for these panel discussions as well. But do note that the certificates are only issued if you have been registered for the session and if you have attended the entire thing. Okay, now we would also put a survey link to the end of today's session. We would really appreciate if you take 2 minutes and give us your feedback, please. It's important to know if we are meeting your expectations and any other feedback that you may wish to share with us. Now, at this time, I would like to briefly introduce our panelists. Now, their detailed profiles have been, it's on the agenda that was sent to most of you who received the link earlier today. Laura, I'm going to ask you to place it in the chat so persons can have access to the full agendas. I will be doing a brief introduction of our panelists, so of course you can get more details in the agenda. We begin with Sherry-Ann Joseph. And Quantrell, if you can highlight Sherry-Ann's video. So I am happy to share that Sherry-Ann Joseph is a sustainability, governance, and risk management professional, and she's a senior partner at Hakon Consulting here in Trinidad and Tobago. She's a chartered accountant with the Institute of Certified Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago and a fellow of the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants of the United Kingdom. She holds a master's degree in business administration and a Master of Science degree in strategic planning from Heriot-Watt University in the UK. Sherry-Ann is currently completing her Doctor of Business Administration, specializing in governance and sustainability. She has over 25 years of experience in credit unions, with 15 years at an executive level with a command of strategy, risk, and financial management. She's passionate about using her craft to provide value-adding support to the organizational development of her clients to enable them to become resilient and enjoy sustainable growth. And now I'd like to introduce Pheuona. Just before I get to Pheuona, I want to share, I'm seeing a message from Lottoia that one of her participants is attempting to get in. Lottoia, can you please ensure that she's using the link that I sent to you this morning, because our team would have already allowed all persons in the waiting room to be able to enter. Okay? So perhaps she is not using the correct link. So Pheuona, I'm happy to now introduce you to our participants today. Pheuona Reynolds has been with the Jamaica Credit Union, the Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union League for approximately 23 years. Her tenure spans the role of examiner in the stabilization unit, supervisor in the business advisory unit, technical services manager for the Centralized Strategic Services Limited, and monitoring and risk management and risk assessment manager in the stabilization unit. These roles have seen her primarily assisting credit unions in a consultative and resource advisory capacity, specifically undertaking assessments of credit unions' operations and analyzing credit unions' financial statements and liquidity reserves requirements, facilitating strategic receipts, retreats, forgive me, providing training, providing and reviewing internal audits and reports, developing policies and procedures, assisting with the implementation of a risk management framework within credit unions, and reviving the Risk Managers Association. Pheuona holds an MBA from the Nova Southeastern University, a BSc in Management and Accounting from the University of the West Indies, Mona, and is a certified international risk manager and certified anti-money laundering specialist. She's also been trained as a fraud examiner. And now I'd like to introduce our third panelist for today, and she is Lottoia Auguiste. Lottoia has over 25 years of experience in the financial sector. A proud citizen of Antigua and Barbuda, who she describes as the land of 365 beaches, Lottoia began her career as a teller and has progressively advanced through various roles. Holding a master's degree in business management with a focus on banking, along with a certificate in international risk management, Lottoia has developed a wealth of experience in operations management, strategic planning, and process optimization. Over the last 9 years, she has worked at the St. John's Cooperative Credit Union, one of the leading credit unions in Antigua and Barbuda. In her role, she has been instrumental in overseeing critical operations, driving process improvements, implementing innovative solutions, and ensuring compliance with industry standards. And of course, beyond her professional achievements, Lottoia takes great pride in mentoring staff and empowering family members, whom she considers her personal success stories. So, as you can see, we have 3 persons who come with a diverse range of experience. So I really look forward to their thoughts as we look at governance and risks in the credit union sector. So we will begin with Sherry-Ann. Sherry-Ann, we are very happy to welcome you here at CCGI, and I invite you to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rampersad, and good morning to all the participants. It is indeed a pleasure being here. So I want to start by saying make governance, risk management, and compliance a strategic asset. And what do I mean by that? Oftentimes, when we ask, what is the greatest asset within your organization, your response would be a lot of different answers. Maybe people, your resources, your membership, your asset base. But compliance, governance, risk management, I would say at this point in time and where credit unions are heading, is one of the greatest strategic